The World of Tanks developers always tried to surprise players and give them new experiences. One way of doing this was sometimes reworking vehicle branches that already existed in the game. Another was introducing new types of vehicles that had never been seen on the virtual battlefield. Minor changes to vehicle characteristics are constantly done in the game, but sometimes the scale is impressive. Like the reworking of German vehicles in February 2017 and the Soviets in 2018. Update 922 introduced rebalanced Soviet medium tanks to the games, as well as new heavy tanks and an alternative tank destroyer branch. One of the most notable events was the addition of the Object 430U to the medium tank branch, which also resulted in its namesake, the Object 430, moving to a tier below and instantly becoming popular thanks to its armor and effective gun. The new branch of heavies added 3 tanks with rear turret placement, the ISM, the Object 705, and the Object 705A. These vehicles were good at close combat and could outlast the enemy with their armor. And finally, the tank destroyers were rebalanced to fit the role of assault tank destroyers. Only vehicles with rear turret placement were left in the branch. All 4 vehicles with the Object 268 version 4 at the top shared many characteristics: good mobility, thick frontal armor, and nice damage per shot. Exactly what was needed to lead a breakthrough and dig in at taken positions. The changes were good, but it was the introduction of new vehicles that drew the most attention from players. And it was impossible to miss the inclusion of Italian vehicles into the game. They came with a completely new style of gameplay, all thanks to their unique auto-reloading system. The way it worked was right after a shell was fired, a special mechanism started loading the next shell into the magazine. The more shells still in the magazine, the faster the gun auto-reloaded. Players could empty the entire magazine right away and fall back for a lengthy reload or fire 1 shell at a time with minimal delay. This made their vehicle unbelievably difficult to predict in battle. You never knew how many shells this señor would unleash into your side. But the French vehicles shocked players even more than the Italian tanks. In February 2019, a branch of French wheeled vehicles was added to World of Tanks. It included 5 researchable vehicles from Tier 6 to Tier 10 and 1 Tier 8 premium vehicle. These racers were darting around the battlefield in no time. For players, it was a brand new experience. They could reach speeds up to 95 kilometers per hour when moving forwards and 70 kilometers per hour when moving backwards, making them perfect for stunt jumps. Even if 2 wheels were damaged, they'd still keep racing. They were the ideal scouts. Not only were they excellent at creating distractions, but just their presence provided a hindrance to enemies. The wheeled vehicles generated different reactions from players, but one thing was for certain, they were a great surprise. But even this was not enough for developers. In late 2019, early 2020, twin-barreled Soviet tanks joined the game. They became a new curiosity that drew the attention of players. These vehicles had 3 modes of firing: cyclical, consecutive, and dual shot. The versatile IS-2, with its twin 100mm guns, became the vehicle you used to familiarize yourself with the new mechanics. The IS-3 was its much more powerful comrade, both in terms of damage and armor. The top ST-2 boasted good elevation and depression angles, and the ability to deal up to 880 alpha damage. It was the crown jewel of the branch, and its main features were the high firepower and the many firing options. All these changes and innovative features injected new life into the game while increasing the amount of variety. But the main thing they proved was that the developers still had enough fresh ideas to surprise virtual commanders.